Yes, better than Humbug. This album really holds up. This album is basically Humbug, but good. This is what Humbug should have been, especially if you chop out the slow songs and you throw in one good one from Humbug and you turn AM and you take some of those and throw them in here. Anyways, dear viewer, you're not just going to get my basic take on this, but you're going to get a lot more. You're going to get context when I heard this album. So whether you're a long-time rocker trying to see what Gen Z thinks about music, or you're a Gen Z rocker and you want some recs on where to start, you want recommendations on like what's good, what you should listen to, and honestly, so you don't get discouraged because you'll listen to some songs in here and you'll be like, do I even like Arctic Monkeys anymore? That hurts to say, but that's true. So yeah, today we're breaking down Suck It and See by Arctic Monkeys. I'm listening to the album right now on my headphones. It just puts a smile on my face. It feels like the redemption. It feels like when you're in the desert and everything gets covered in dirt during a monsoon and everything is covered in dirt. It's covered in, and then just rain happens and everything gets cleared out and it's like the air has a little bit of a lift. It's a little bit like chilly, but it feels like fresh. It feels good. It feels like we're back. We've got momentum. It feels like we're really on track again. So we're gonna be talking about Suck It and See, but first, before you suck it with me, make sure your friends are going to see what songs in this album they need to listen to and what other albums they need to listen to, if not really much on here. So, real quick, like black treacle, go brick by brick and throw this into your friend's inbox. Throw it into that group chat, that one group chat you like where they get rowdy and they're like, we need some rock music. Throw this brick into their window. Metaphorically speaking, the brick of the group chat, the window of the inbox, the brick being a message or DM, the camera having trouble focusing with my face this close up to it. I'm going to do everything from this point of view because this is a way that I think is useful for you to see. You guys like that? You guys like that? That's a useful way to do things. It's making the camera have a hard time focusing. Anyways, okay, you have 5 seconds to send this to a friend. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you do it? You did? Congratulations. You now, alongside the first 2 Arctic Monkeys records, have a place in my heart. Nice little spot carved out. Joke's on you. I don't have a heart. So you might be wondering, why do I dog on Humbug? Why do I not like Humbug? It proved to me that the Arctic Monkeys can make a record that doesn't stand on its own, that only is redeemed because it's from one of the greatest bands of all time. But if I heard that band, like I heard just an indie band play that record as their set, I would probably kill them. Or I would tell them, keep 2 of those songs, those are incredible. The rest really need to get punched up and you need to do like, just go in a different direction, do more of the stuff that worked. And then you probably would have even ended up as a rock band if you just took the stuff that was good from that record. Like the stuff that stands on its own outside of Arctic Monkeys, it's not a rock record. It's not a rock record. It does not rock. It's that simple. It's not a rock record. It doesn't rock. That feels so simple. That feels so simple to say. And from one of the greatest bands of all time, like Humbug, why would it do that? But Suck It and See, I'm listening to Black Trickle right now, like even just like the guitar lines and the tone and the phrasing, and even though it takes its time, it's just good. It's just good. And especially like, they're really like, after like Humbug, Suck It and See, AM, it feels like the Humbug, Suck It and See, AM, it feels like they're really dialed in on like, this is going to be like, we live in LA, Tumblr era. And for that vibe, this is the best one. Black Street Coal is like kind of slow. Like I would say more of a love song, but just like the little guitar lines and all that stuff he does, like Alex Turner's doing here. It's just it's much more accessible. That's what I'm reading from the Guinness Genius talking about the album. But they're right. This is much more accessible because it's a record that's actually enjoyable outside of Arctic Monkeys. Once again, like this really bothers me. Like if you're a band, just write rock music. There's so many people not writing rock music, and especially good rock music. That if like you have the ability to write good rock music, just do more of that forever. Um, and make like love songs and other stuff like later, or leave it to Taylor Swift because she's really good at that apparently. I don't know. I haven't listened to much Taylor Swift. Just hits like Shake It Off and stuff, and those are really catchy and those are good. And so I imagine if she takes that same exact level of like catchiness and goodness and she puts it into pop songs and love songs, then more power to her. Arctic Monkeys. Why'd you do that? You got successful. Anything you did was going to go to number one. And this is a good record. I guess I'm putting on to you that you're supposed to be the saviors of rock, but, you know, I guess that's me now. She's Thunderstorms. Good, cool. Black Circle. Good, cool. But, like, come on. Brick by Brick. I love it because it's so stupid. And they do the slow down thing that the Dead Weather do. And I feel love every million miles. Soundgarden does it a lot. Any band where they do like a riff, and then the bridge is do 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 do. It's at a half speed. They do the riff really slow. Like Slipknot did that a lot early on. A lot of like like breakdowns for stuff in like heavier music does that. Yeah, this is Brick by Brick is fine, aggressively fine, but it shouldn't be with this like palette of like reverb and like delay effects and clean guitar tones. It should be like a punk rock song that should be faster. I want to tear you down to the brick by brick. I want to build you up brick by brick. I want to recast it. I need a love. It should have been like an AC/DC Led Zeppelin impression at like misfit speed. There's a Misfit song, Mommy, Can I Go Out and Kill the Night? Mommy, can I go out and kill tonight? And that's the song, right? But if you did brick by brick like that, and you went, I want to rock and roll, brick by brick. Maybe you don't do it like full, like that tempo, but like, make it like Agent Orange. Make it a punk song. Like, make it a good, let's see, brick by brick. So then when you do the slowdown, it's like, ding, 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 brick by brick, da da do, like pick stripes, brick by brick. Like, if System of a Down was doing brick by brick, how would they do it? Like, that's a better frame to put in. That song would work if Arctic Monkeys was playing it like a rock band. But they're not. Hellcat Spangled Shalala is great, and don't sit down when I move your chair. Library Pictures is the right thing. Library Pictures of the Cricketing Canoe. Dipshit rockin' bound. That's the right speed. Oh, my own stones. Like, that's the right kind of tempo for a rock band, right kind of tempo for a rock song. And yeah, we just don't get that on this record. They need to turn the tempo up and turn off the reverb because it sucks. As the kids would say, it's gay. Like, not in the fun way either, not in like the attracted to the same sex, but in the colloquial sense. Meaning it's just like, it's lame, so gay. And not because it's sweet or the lyrics are like flowery or like the textures are flowery, but just in the sense that like this should have been like a lot of the stuff that's like lovey-dovey on here that is like low tempo. especially like Suck and See and like Love is a Laser Quest. Those like almost this whole record should have been an Alex Turner solo album. It should have been on Submarine. Like this should not be a rock album from the greatest rock band or one of the greatest rock bands of the last 2 decades. Because that hurts. That really hurts. Like the fourth Royal Blood record slows down and like has more elements. It's a little more lovey-dovey, flowery than aggressive rock record with high intensity. When compared to the first 2 records of Royal Blood, and I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent to another band, but you'll see it makes sense for this one. This stuff does not come back enough. Like basically, I feel like the original Arctic Monkeys, first 2 album Arctic Monkeys from like 2004 to 2009 died, killed. Alternate universe Arctic Monkeys showed up, and they made like 3 albums that are very Tumblr core, that are very like I'm listening to Lana Del Rey, and I'm a 17-year-old girl, and I come back from school, and I'm like, oh my god, and I go in my room. It's like a nice time. It's nice. It's cool. It's got aesthetic lighting. Like, look at this. And I go in and I take my candle right there. So I grab my candle from next to the light. I grab it. I take my candle. I go. It's got some matches. Go right here. We're looking at this. I'm trying to work to the camera. You have an audio experience. She's 17. She grabs her candle. It's been a long day. A little bit rainy, snowy outside. Gets back into the room. It's like, oh. She comes in. She gets the candle lit. She strikes the match. Takes the lid off. Just puts it there. Gets a little fire going. Blows it out, but not the candle. Duh. Anyways, then flicks it away, throws it in the trash. And she takes out her Suck and See, her Arctic Monkeys AM, or her Humbug. Let's go Suck and See. She puts it on the record player, on her Vitrolo or whatever that the record snobs would yell about. And then she puts down the needle. It goes, she's thunderstorms. And it starts, right? It's good. Starts undressing a little, takes the jacket off. Gets comfortable. It's comfortable. She goes, man, this bra's really itching. She undoes it. She's like, oh, now I'm feeling a little better. She goes to the drawer, pulls it open. What does she get? Some sort of wand, some sort of device that she got at the back of a Claire's. Okay? She got her lip piercing, or her nose thing. She got a little tattoo in the back of the Claire's. And she got her friendly feeler. And what does she do with her friendly feeler? She just hears Black Treacle. She goes, oh. And she puts it down where she puts it down. And she's like, just goes to a different planet. And she has a jolly old good time. But are you doing that to a Limp Bizkit record? Are you doing it to a Korn record? Are you doing that to a Motley Crue record? Are you even doing that to American Idiot by Green Day? Are you doing that to, let's just see. Is 17-year-old girl, let's say, teenage girl, is she doing that in her room to flip in, anything you can think that consistently rocks? The first 2 records, she's not doing that to the first record, except maybe Marty Bum comes on, or another slower song. But you're like, that's not the consisting of most of the record. Even here, when the riffs do hit, they don't really hit. That's my biggest complaint with this era of Arctic Monkeys. It feels like, in part to me, Queens of the Stone Age stopped making records after 2007, when they had Era Vulgaris, which is a very dissonant, very mixed bag of a record, but a lot of hard, heavy stuff in there. Like, it just is really intense. Even like the slow or lovey-dovey songs are really intense in Era Vulgaris by Queens of the Stone Age. But what ends up happening is they stopped 2007. Arctic Monkeys works for them 2008, 2009, 2000. They're there in LA. And Josh Homme kind of gets to see them not be a rock band for 2 records in a row, but kind of be a rock band to the point where if you're a fan, you can justify it. But even rock radio, I never heard any of these songs growing up. No one played Humbug. There's no hits off that. There's no hits off Suck and See, and that's for a reason. Because usually the hits came because they were a good rock band. And they just weren't. So then Josh Homme sees them make mistakes in that whole 6-year period. And then they go, you know what, let's do another Queens record. And he says, we're going to do something artsy, we're going to do something cool, but it's still going to have to rock when it rocks. And so that's why Like Clockwork by Queens of the Stone Age doesn't have the problems that Suck and See has from Arctic Monkeys. This is my theory. I'm totally talking out of my ass, but let's just believe this is canon. Josh Homme goes, and he just sees this happening. He's like, God damn, I can't let that happen to Queens of the Stone Age. We can't drop the ball. And they didn't. I think that may have increased the standard for how good Like Clockwork needed to be for it to justify the slower moments. Like a song like Calypso is a perfect example off of Like Clockwork. Really what I'm recommending is you go listen to Like Clockwork and you go listen to Suck and See, and then you compare and contrast and go, wow, one of these is an incredible rock record that has moments that are like very vulnerable and toned down. And one of them is kind of a fun Arctic Monkeys record at points. One of them is really good and one of the greatest rock records of all time. The other one is Suck and See by Arctic Monkeys. That's really how I'd put it. But does this album, if this album doesn't happen, does it get us Like Clockwork? I don't know. Right? Like, is it really worth it to say that, like, I guess because in hindsight, like, you never wish anything went differently because everything has gotten where you would, everything that has happened has gotten you to where you are currently. And you're still alive because you're listening to this. And, like, honestly, you might go, like, yeah, but my life sucks. Yeah, but, like, if something different happened that you thought would have led to a better life, you might have just got hit by a bus in that other timeline. You might just get hit by a bus right then, and you wouldn't even be alive. But right now you're alive. You have a chance to change and to not make Suck and See. No, but even right now you have a chance to change where you are, the way you think, the habits you have in your mind, the way you talk to yourself, the way you talk to others. You have a chance to change that. And so to a certain extent, you never play the game of what if. But let's play the game of what if. What if Suck and See never happened? What if Humbug didn't happen? What if Arctic Monkeys had 2 brilliant records after Favorite Worst Nightmare? Would it have saved rock and roll for the 2010s, where the 2010s have had rock music? Would Queens of the Stone Age have shot themselves in the foot? There's the thing. Cage the Elephant, really good. Rock band. First 2 records. And I love the 3rd record, but not a rock record. Barely a rock record. Mellophobia is like an alternative rock record in the true sense. It's an alternative, like it's alternate universe rock. It's not really rock, like, but it is rock. It's definitely rock, but it's not what the first 2 are. First one is like a friggin' rock record, AC/DC, Zeppelin, that kind of thing, like in that vein. I know I'm not saying I'm gonna sit down, I'm alive, and I'm trying to cut my flies. I'd rather keep them in light. Chris Ashcroft has cast not stone, Barbie at the stake, sitting there and watch from your throne. Devil is my power. I do a lot of drugs. The crowd will only like me if they're really fucking drunk. You think my thought? You think you know my thoughts, but you don't know the least. If they listen to the words, they find the message tucked beneath, and it goes like that banger. And then even Aberdeen, I do 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 do. Go listen to the first 2 Cage Elephant albums. Go listen to the first 2 Arctic Monkey albums. Go listen to the first 2 Royal Blood albums. That is a much better idea than listening to Suck It and See and or Humbug and or AM. You should only listen to the few hits off of AM. You shouldn't. I'm going to be real. If you're an Arctic Monkeys fan, you're going to like this record, listen to the record. If you're an Arctic Monkeys fan, you're going to like Humbug, go listen to Humbug. If you're an Arctic Monkeys fan, you're going to like AM, go listen to AM. If you're an Arctic Monkeys fan, never listen to the car. No one listen to the car. I'm going to come and shoot you in the face if you listen to the car. In Minecraft, I'm going to shoot you in the face in Minecraft if you go and listen to the car. It's not like your record. The record before it is also not a good record. I like both of them because I'm an Arctic Monkeys hardcore fan. They're not good records. They're objectively not good rock records. AM is not a good rock record. It is great indie, Tumblr, core, 2013 vibes record. Not a good rock record. Few great rock songs on it. Really good rock songs. I didn't expect to be this much of a snob, but now that I'm actually having to say out loud what I think, I really realize I'm like, yeah, I just like Arctic Monkeys. And they could have just made anything. Like, this is fine. I'm listening to it right now. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's not bad. No problem with it. And I'm listening to Library Pictures. I'm getting the bridge right now, like the solo. It's cool. It's, making me sad. It feels like Pink Floyd, where like people are like, "Oh, this is really good." If instead of like rock music, you like doing drugs and then being like, "Whoa, this is super trippy." I like music I can work out to. If I can get a brutal workout to it, like that's why I love the first System of a Down record. Oh my god! Even when like the slow songs are like the slow parts are happening, even if the song is mostly slow, when it hits, it's going to hit so hard that you're just like, "Oh my god!" I can do that with the first 2 Arctic Monkeys records. I'll put it this way: my friend Jack barely like listens to that much like music. He's not like a huge rock fan like me. He likes rock. He likes Taylor Swift. Like he likes a lot of different things. He likes Halsey. He likes G-Eazy. He likes everything. But here the first Arctic Monkeys record was like, we need to listen to this on repeat. Second record, he's like, okay, maybe later I'll listen to it. I'll get into it. I played Humbug. He's like, I didn't even play Suck and See for him. I didn't even play Suck and See. He knows the hits off the AM because they're really famous, and those were the only Arctic Monkeys songs he's heard. But he's like, really, you got to listen to the first album. And he's right. First album is the best. Second album's pretty damn close and super fun. Really great rock record. And then they're a shell of their former selves for the next 3 records. It's not until Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino that they really like. It feels like they have a life, like they like there's something to them. There's intensity there. Like you could say it's corny, but like once you go sci-fi and you go fantasy and you go into a different realm, there's a way where you can just really be way more brutally honest and vulnerable and way more raw and deep emotion. I don't get raw, deep emotion on Humbug. I get slightly edgy and like this is a part. Look, we're going up with the energy here for this one part. Suck It and See, like. They're too happy, and they're not bringing raw happiness either. Like, oh, I get knocked down, but I get up again, and never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down. Like, that's out of 10 out of 10. Like, if music is a mood altering drug, right? If you fundamentally accept the premise, or you take that frame of music as a mood altering drug, it's altering your mood, and that's why you're like listening to it to change your mood. Whatever that song is by Chumbawamba. I get knocked down, but then I get back up again. What is it called? Tub Thumping. Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. If you listen to that song, it's a pure unmitigated dose of like happy. Same with like Living a Vida Loca or like Smooth by Santana or like any of these kind of songs or Get Jiggy With It. Nah. Get Jiggy With It. Like any of that stuff. Hey, it's Will Smith, yo. It's Will Smith. My wife likes other men. I like other men too. Yeah, dude. Boomers are going to say this record's gay. Gen Z is going to say this record is bad pop music, and it's not a rock record. So the rock people aren't going to like it, and the pop people aren't going to like it. Arctic Monkeys fans are going to love it. Stan accounts are going to come and kill me over this one. I like this record. That's because I'm an Arctic Monkeys stan. Okay, it's not because it's a good record. It's fine. It's not a good rock record. It's not a rock record. Go listen to instead. Brutal, brutal. Um, go listen to the first two albums. Go listen to the first two KG Elephant albums. Go and listen to Royal Blood's first two albums. Trying to think if there's anything else you should listen to that's a good, like, more modern rock. It's like comparable to this. I mean, go listen to Cleopatra. Don't listen to this. Don't listen to Second and C. So add those on your list to check out, but it fails. Doesn't pass the sniff test. It gets a if it's either 0 or 10, it's a 0. For being a rock record, for being an Arctic Monkeys record, and I like Arctic Monkeys, it's a 10. But I definitely think this was like cementing the fact that, like, yeah, the Arctic Monkeys are dead. Like the ones that you fell in love with to begin with, they're dead. They don't exist anymore. And maybe because of that, less people are inspired to be like that original one, and a lot of that kind of spirit might have died with them for a while. And so it's only the people who kind of pick up the flag. Feels like this is like episode 3 of Star Wars, where between 3 and 4, where like you had like the glorious, like you had like the Republic, and it was super cool, and that's the first 2 albums, and then Sidious happens in between 2 and 3, between Favorite Worst Nightmare and Humbug, and they're like, oh, we're living in the Empire, and not like when Star Wars, 4, 5, and 6 are happening, when A New Hope or Empire or Return of the Jedi are happening. This is when Andor is happening. This is when the Star Wars Han Solo, a Star Wars story is happening. This is when the not stuff that anyone would ever should subject it. This is when the Obi-Wan Kenobi show is gonna happen. Ooh, guys. And then AM is like Rogue One. Kind of good, kind of some stuff in there, but also like, oh, this is bad. This does not even belong under the same name. This doesn't belong under the name of Star Wars. This doesn't belong under the name of Arctic Monkeys. You guys are the guys who made those first 2 ones. Like, huh. And then Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino is like Star Wars, like the main 4, 5, 6. Crazy, out there adventure. Different from the Republic, different from 1, 2, 3, or if you're talking Monkeys albums 1 and 2. But it's fun. It's a whole different thing. You're either in or you're not in. And then The Car is like the sequel trilogy. Bad, incoherent. Clearly there was competent people there, but I don't know what happened. So that's Arctic Monkeys explained using Star Wars. Hope you like that. Takeaway: watch the prequels and watch the original trilogy. Listen to albums 1 and 2, and then if you want something completely different, that's what it is. Second C and Humbug and AM, neither of them commit to being the first 2 records or being Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. Either you're going to be like lounge, jazz on steroids, fantasy, sci-fi thing, or you're going to be 2 really good rock records. Humbug doesn't commit to one or the other, and so it falls flat and dies in the middle. Second C, bad love songs. Should have just been an Alex Turner solo album. AM is aggressively fine, in my opinion. Mark was on, and Mark and I are going to talk about that next. But I think they fundamentally either need to decide that we are the original Star Wars or we are the prequels, not somehow both but neither. Right? So, yeah. don't listen to the Second and See. Listen to the first two albums or Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. But before that, go Arctic Smash your way into the next video, which is my AM review joined by Mark Farrell. And we give a lot of good insight. We talk about how, ironically, that's the only one people in America even know about. If I talk to people who play music in America, it's the only one they know about. The only record they've ever heard of Arctic Monkeys is just like Are You Mine? And Do I Want to Know? And Why Do You Only Call Me When You're High? If you're lucky. And that's really sad. So go have fun with your vibrator and your candle. Listen to Second and See if you want. But yeah, how about instead, go right now, click on the AM review. I'm going to give you, let's see, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you click it? Did you click it? Seriously, no, have you clicked the AM review? Click it! See you there. Rock on.